Madonna versus Wheeling Central up at Lisa's Field. It's the Class A Region 1 Section 1 sectional game, and again, that's at 6 p.m. Tomorrow, baseball, and it starts at 7:30. Wheeling Central, it's Region 1 Section 1 sectional 1. That'll be at I-470 at 7:30. And then again on Thursday, the game will start at 6:30 p.m. So right after Watchdog Sports, right after the show. Joining me now are the Revivers. I'm going to let them introduce them. And folks on Facebook Live, you'll see a really great video taken by my friend, Corinne. Guys, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks.
Oh, well, we need mics.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Check, everybody. How are you doing out there?
You got green on?
Hello.
There it
There it
is.
is.
Okay, hi, everybody.
Hello.
Sorry about that.
No, it's all right.
Sorry about that. Now, this young man's the one that tracked me down,
Correct.
right? Tell me why. Tell me what you're trying to do. Oh,
Well-
and introduce yourself, too.
Yeah, my name is Michael Friel. I'm originally not a local, but I've been here about 6 years, and I play guitar for the band, the Revivers. The reason why we're here today is because I'm creating a concept album based on, it has multiple layers, but the core of it is the fight against drug addiction and the hero's journey specifically out of drug addiction and through it. It has Egyptian mythology in it. It has an allegory of a chicken in a corporate farmyard, which, silly enough, works for the piece as a story whole. And it's based on mythological themes and concepts from Joseph Campbell. So it's pretty highbrow, but it's also very accessible. And all the songs relate to that. We're about halfway through the album right now. And we're going to play some songs later for everyone to hear. Give it over to John.
John?
Yeah, I'm John Clark. I'm from down Moundsville's way, but me and Mike, we met up the open mics recently. We've just been doing this about 2 months now, so
Okay.
we've been really pounding the pavement, really pushing some stuff out. That's why we are still working on it, but only been doing it for about 2 months, so we still got about half the album to go and get everything finished. But we got some stuff that hasn't been released online yet that we're gonna play. A new song, which is cool. I think people are gonna dig it a lot, and and we've got a lot of fun. We're having fun with it at this
So much
point.
fun.
We're not
Right.
really.
Oh, she talked.
Ah.
She did.
I'm Amanda.
This is Amanda.
I'm a singer, and I don't talk a lot.
Oh, you could have fooled me. Out in that lobby, right?
Right? Yeah, exactly.
To people I don't know, like everyone out there.
You're all right. You want me to tell you how many people are listening?
Yeah.
Hundreds
Yeah.
of thousands of people are on.
How many
I
people?
would never do that to her. I would do that to her. I'll tell you later, okay?
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, now, Michael, why don't you tell me the Revivers? Explain the name.
It's something we batted around for a while. We had like a bunch of choices for names, but the Revivers caught our ear and stuck because we're reviving the dead, and by dead we mean the ignorant or the negative. We want to get it up out and fill the world with love and peace and happiness, which is sounds very idyllic, I
like a
guess.
hippie,
But
Mm-hmm.
sound like a hippie, don't I? But no,
It's a running joke.
it's just the best mission statement in one word that our band seems to fit under is we're trying to do the most positive thing for humankind through art and our music.
And the Revivers, does that relate to your battle, against the drug addiction issues
It's not
that
my
we have
battle,
here?
it's John's battle.
Yeah, that would
He's
be
the
mine.
hero.
That's what it really means to me is like the whole revivers thing, because so many drug addicts actually have to be revived.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's just that's always what it's meant to me personally. But yeah, it's a tough battle that West Virginia, Ohio, Pennsylvania is fighting right now.
Kentucky, too. They're
Kentucky,
number 4.
yeah, we got lawsuits going on against these companies now, which is awesome.
Yep.
It's an amazing thing to hear because they are. It is literally staggering, if you hear about the amount of prescriptions that have been written just in these 4 states alone. for opioids and different things like that. These companies are taking advantage of people, and it's finally being brought to light, which is awesome.
Well, let's not leave the rest of the guilty parties out.
Oh yeah, no, not at all, not at all.
You know,
man,
when you have pharmacies ordering astronomical amounts
Absolutely.
of opioids, you know, but the companies knew what they were doing too.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know, and I really don't like. Some folks have what I consider to be a bad attitude about this issue.
Sure.
You know, some people actually say out loud, "Why have Narcan? Let them die."
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
That
insane.
makes me mad.
Right.
It's ungodly that that someone would even say that. I've even heard worse stuff than that, but I mean that's just hearsay, so I'm not even going to put it out on the radio. But yeah, it is really a shame because people still think of a drug addict as like this dude that's out in the middle of the alley somewhere, like, you know, just doing his thing, like homeless. Like, it's not, man. It's your 14-year-old grabbing your script out of your bathroom. It's not the same fight anymore. It is not that war on drugs that they depicted so long ago. It is right here in our own neighborhoods, and it's right there in your own cabinets. And people need to get educated on what is, you know, available to kids these days.
Now, usually on Monday at 3, my buddy Terry Davis comes in
I know Terry. Yeah.
for a segment we do called Addiction Hurts.
Right. Yeah.
Unfortunately, Terry had to work today.
Yeah.
But he's got his Fight the Fear event coming up now within a month, June 1, up at the Windmill.
Up at the Windmill, absolutely.
And I'm very much looking forward to, you know, helping Terry and then seeing that event blossom because it's his passion, man.
We kind of came in late to the game, so we're not on that bill. But if it's a big event as I think it's going to be, I'm hoping there's going to be another one next year.
I hope so.
And
too.
I hope we can get together on that because.
I think we'll still go though.
We'll be
Oh yeah, we'll be. I'm still going to be
We're gonna
there.
have a face
But,
there at least, you know.
But
Yep.
we're not going to be playing. But we definitely want to support that event and hopefully to, you know, be on it next year.
Hey, have the guitars in the trunk, man. You don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
You might be able to hop up.
The windmill gets crazy sometimes. It's a happening place. Like people, there's a huge music community in this area,
Yeah.
but it's a lot of like really small time people that no one really know about, and we're starting to come together and we're just starting to support each other, and it's a beautiful thing that's going on right now, and the Windmill is definitely a big part of that.
It's an extremely supportive environment. With my anxiety, like being able to go there and play in front of people who will just listen to me and say, you know, even if I screw up, will tell me, good job, you know, are totally supportive. We've never had that experience in other places we've played open mics before. So the Windmill is like really helped me personally to grow.
My very good friend Shannon Canterbury.
Absolutely. Shannon's a great guy.
He is. He's got his first song up on.
He does.
It's called Catch Me.
Yep.
And it's only $1.29. When I go home, I'm buying it.
Yeah.
Buy Shannon's song.
Yeah, I got to see that debuted. Actually, it was.
Yes, you did.
It was interesting.
Go hear the live version, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, you want to hear a cameo by me, but not when you want to hear
his commentary.
Right. Now, Michael, in the note, I'm looking at the original note that you sent me, and you said something about showcasing our work against drug addiction as it relates to a concept album. Connect the two.
Well, the concept album is, the core of it is the hero story taken from John's life experience. And I wrote, I'm not the only one that's writing. John also writes, and so does Amanda.
Yeah.
But we wrote the songs based around that story of the hero cycle in and out of addiction triumphantly. Like I said before, the story centers around Horus the chicken. Horus is an allegorical term for Horus, the actual sun god, whose shirt I'm wearing today. No one can see it, but in any case, there's Egyptian mythology as well in the story written in. So there's like multiple levels, and not to float my own boat, but it's one of the best things I've ever written and composed.
You're allowed to float that boat, baby.
That's okay.
If that's how you feel.
And I think it's an important work because it deals directly with opioid addiction. It's relatable to most people. There are a lot of people out there who have these problems or have sons or fathers or whoever that have these problems. And it's a shining light to guide them out. At least they can relate at the very least. If it doesn't provide a solution, then at least they can relate and understand and head that direction.
I believe everybody in the Upper Ohio Valley at this point has been touched one way or another.
Yeah.
I have family that, thank the Lord, survived it and got through it and fought that fear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, to be able to live the life that they're leading today. It's sad, honestly, how many times on this program that I actually have to talk about it. And I have to, you know, when I have law enforcement on, talk about Narcan, talking about overdoses. I had Chief Schwarzenegger on last week. We're ahead of last year already.
Well, it's a complicated thing because it's more than just a personal choice to take a drug.
That's
It also involves your environment. Like, for example, I was watching a video last month where a man was talking about the laboratory rats that they originally had in a cage, and they would feed it certain opioids or heroin or whatever. And if the rat had no fun or comfort in its environment, it would go straight to the drug. But now if they did a research where they changed the environment on the rats, and if they have a positive environment and have good nutrition and good water to drink, they will discard the drug and not take it. So it's more than just, you know, a personal choice. It's also about your outside influences, and that's where people who say things like, if they don't have Narcan, let them die, don't quite understand fully the concept.
That's right. I have a dear friend. Her name's Amy Jackson. She is 6.5 years in recovery. Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah.
I don't know where you are, I mean, but good job. That's awesome.
She lives over in Blair. She'll be at Fight the Fear.
Awesome.
Okay. I'll make sure to introduce you guys.
I would
okay?
appreciate that. Absolutely.
And I wrote a story about her, Amy, and she comes back on the show every once in a while just to talk about her success because she had another baby. She's married, family, made up with all the family.
Mm-hmm.
So much damage.
Yeah.
And when I interviewed her for the story that I wrote about her, it was tough for her.
Oh yeah.
You know, to not admit that she stole her sister's necklace on her wedding day.
Yeah.
I mean, she admitted that.
Right.
But I truly believe that it hit her at that point, like full blown, like, oh my, I was the most horrible person I'd ever been, ever.
And more power to her, because I tell you what, it's one thing to walk into like a closed NA meeting where we know like we have anonymity. I always mess up that.
Anonymity. It's a tough one.
I hate that word. But anyway, yeah, we walk in there knowing that, you know what I mean? But for her to, you know, actually talk to you on the air about her experiences so that everybody can hear about it, she is a voice, like, and that's awesome. I don't know her, but I like her already.
Well, you'll meet her in less than a month.
I hope to. And that's one of the things that I like about our album, because we don't just strictly talk about the addiction. Like so many of my songs now that I'm writing now are about the aftermath of that. Because a lot of people think you just stop doing the drugs and everything's okay, and it's not. You have to completely rebuild your life, and that's basically what the hero journey for me is being able to reconnect. You know what I mean, with the people that I've wronged, and being able to be able to reconnect and apologize, and be able to make those relationships good again.
Sure.
You know.
And, Terry, I asked him last Monday, I said, what, if you could say one thing to a mom and dad who has a child addicted, what would that one thing be? And he said, don't give up on them.
Love them, yeah. Just love
them.
I tell you what, if it wasn't for my parents, man, I don't think I'd have made it through. Like, I got really supportive parents. I love them to death, and they have been really good to me throughout this whole process. So shout out to my parents. They don't get enough credit. They really don't.
There you go. Now, Terry, I believe it was during our very first segment, and I told Terry before we went on air, I said, I'm going to ask you some tough questions.
Sure.
And he goes, I want them to be tough.
Yeah.
Okay.
We got to let people know what's going on.
So part of the story that Terry told, and John, maybe you already know it, and Amanda, Michael, maybe you don't. At one point, and it was really a big sign for Terry. Didn't make him stop, but it was a huge sign. His father and he were living in Kentucky. And, his father said, hey, go down to the insurance office and see the agent. There's something there you got to sign. So Terry goes to the insurance agent, and and the agent puts a document in front of him, and he says, "Your dad wants you to sign this." It was life insurance.
Yeah.
Terry didn't sign it. He went home and he goes, "Dad," he goes, "I don't have the money to bury you. And the direction you're heading in, you're going to die. You're going to die soon."
Yeah.
And that helped. But that poor man, and I'm so glad we've become friends, he did dope sick in jail twice.
Yeah. I'm fortunately, like I said, I'm blessed. You know, I mean, my parents were there for me, so I didn't spend time in jail. Luckily, I'm one of the very fortunate to be able to get through this without having to go to jail, because so many of us do. In fact, more percentages than you would think. Like, it takes something like that, and that's what we call a rock bottom a lot of times. You know what I mean? So you don't have to experience it, but most of us do. You know what I mean? You don't have to experience it to get help. You can get help without destroying your entire life, but the reality and the nature of drug addiction, unfortunately, especially for a lot of these people out there, which a lot of people don't understand, is not necessarily just the drug that they're addicted to, because there is a physical addiction from these drugs, but most of them also have like OCD, which in which they have like an addictive personality already. So they can literally get addicted to, like, you know, collecting newspapers and different things like that. Exercise. Like, they can literally turn everything into an unhealthy obsession. But then you add to that the addictive and physical power of these drugs, and it is a medical, you know, thing that they need help with. It's not. People don't need to be incarcerated. They need to be put in a hospital. They need treatment. They need help. Yeah. Like, we don't need to be incarcerating people and letting them go through withdrawal where they could potentially die. You know what I mean? Cold turkey in these jail cells, and a lot of them do, but you don't hear about that.
Right.
You don't hear about these people dying in jail cells because they're going through medical withdrawal. Like, it's a problem that needs to be addressed from different sides. Yes, we do things, unfortunately, as addicts that are criminal, but try and get us some help first, and then let us face up to our what we've done. You know what I mean?
There you go, bro. There you go.
That's the way I see it.
Why don't you guys sing one song, then we'll take the break, and we'll come back and you guys can play a couple more. Okay?
Sure, sounds good.
Go ahead and set it up.
The actual setup would be, the first track on the album is planned to be called Farmopolis, which is the corporate farm on which Horace the hero resides. And he takes corporate seed, which is drug-laced and chemically enhanced. And this is the opening track on the album called Farmopolis.
All right.
The city of Farmopolis is caged with birds, all clipped wings with suits and ties on. No one flies on the horizon. I look up, but I don't see a sun. Marching to the beat of the dull drums. Ooh, 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 ooh.
All right, we'll go ahead and take the bottom of the hour break, ladies and gentlemen. The Revivers are here. We'll talk more with them in just a few moments, right here on the Watchdog. Yep. Now, what about gigs? Have you guys played out in public yet?
We've played at the Windmill. We've played at
Garbo's.
Brewery.
Yeah. If you get out and about, you'll see us at some point.
Yeah, we like to hit up the open
somehow.
mics right now. We've got some things coming up here. The Windmill is actually going to do give us a couple hours. They're on the 31st, 31st of this month. They're going, and as of right now, we are on the schedule next month for Garbo's. The time is to be determined, but you can always look us up on our Facebook page and figure out where we're going to be.
All right, very cool. Let's hear another one, guys.
All right. This one is this one's called Sunshine, and this is kind of right after I had left and became started my sobriety. This is basically where that song takes place.
Okay.
It's called Sunshine.
go. We got softball. I can tell that song means so fucking much to you, dude.
It's about his kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Belt, yeah. That is something.
That was what we